All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is January the 8th, 2024, and this is the letter that we received from the courthouse on the 3rd. I'm just being able to get to you um, January the 3rd because we've been so busy recording these corrupt enemy of the people. And we're here again to show you the corruption in this courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland. This is the clerk of the court and the deputy clerk of the court. Okay. Now, the clerk of the court stated the address isn't good that they're sending these documents to, but they're really not sending the documents out. But I don't know who they think they're fooling with that, but we're going to prove that only certain orders are being taken out and they're sending them claiming that they're being sent to me. And this is the address that we're using to document so that it won't be a firsthand saying that, oh, I'm not getting them. He's just saying he's not getting them. We're using a third party to receive all court documents so that there can be affidavits saying that it went to them first. Now, here's the address, and we received this letter stating our next lawsuit against Enterprise. Okay, now this is the address they sent it to. Here's the information. This is where it's coming from, which I find very interesting because this went all the way up to Baltimore City, y'all. And this is coming from Baltimore City, not Greenbelt, but Baltimore City. You see the address on there? Okay, this is where they sent it to. Okay, address, they say that it's a bad address. We're not getting certain orders and all that bullshit from this corrupt courthouse. Well, what I want you to see this is, listen to this, free people. We elected a legislative body to write procedures. And I want y'all to read what is that was sent to me. Now, mind you, this is the new lawsuit that we filed. We have not received the summons back as of today. This courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland still has the summons that they should have gave to me as soon as I paid the money, as soon as the clerk of the court looked it over and put the seal on it, pursuant to the federal rules of civil procedures. That's what she's supposed to have done. But they took all the summons and they're still holding on to them. Now, we received this letter on the 3rd saying that there's been a judge assigned to it. We're going to go run this judge's name and find out everything about him. Okay? But what I want you to do is this. I want you to read what is being written on this letter. This is just more corruption with this letter here. And I'm going to show you in a few minutes because we're going to use it in something else. Okay? As I stated, we elect individuals to run our government and write our rules and procedures. And as you see in the yellow right here, they're saying local rules and federal rules of civil proceedings. That's not how it's supposed to be done. The federal laws come from Washington, D.C. Okay? I want y'all to finish reading this first. And on the back, it talks about electronic filing and all this dumb shit. Okay, here's page 2. They talk about filing documents through electronics. If you're in prison, they're talking about all that. Okay, but let's get back to this right here. The rules and the procedures were made in Washington, D.C. They are supposed to be followed in every federal courthouse. You're not supposed to make up your own little rules and regulations. And that's what's going on out here in this Greenbelt, Maryland courthouse. Okay? They're making up their own rules. You can't come in there. The next rule may be if you're black, you can't come in through the courthouse front door. You got to come through the back door. You got to wear regular shoes. You can't wear sandals. These are local dumb rules that these people try to make up to justify them doing certain things. But the rules in a lawsuit in a federal courthouse comes from Washington, D.C. Okay? And they are stated in the Federal Rules of Civil Proceedings or Procedures, already written up. And this so-called following local rules, that's some shit they make up in these little courthouses because they're corrupt. They try to justify shit because they're making it up. Not Washington, D.C. They are making it up. And let me tell you something. Somebody asked, is the courthouse a public building? It is a public building. You can record in a public building. You can't go into the courtroom because of what is taking place in the courtrooms or restricted areas. But that courthouse belongs to the people. And as you heard in one of the recordings, the protective service officer said, once you go past the security, you can't record. No, that's not how it works. That security is only to make sure no weapons or anything to that sense isn't brought into the courthouse to get to the judges or jury or whatever. But you can record in that public building behind the security barriers once you clear that security barriers. And I'm telling you now, we're going to write and we're going to push this all the way. We've been downtown and they made it very clear. Somebody made a mistake. And we're going back to this courthouse. So you all at that courthouse, get ready. And this time we're going to sue. Right now we're writing up the judge. We're going to see if we can remove these security officers there that don't know the rules and the procedures. They are just following orders from this judge. And again, as I tell you, the Germans just followed orders, and you see what happened to them. Most of them now have warrants put out on them for Holocaust violations. So just following orders and not knowing your job can get you in trouble. So again, here we go. They wrote into this following the local rules. There's no such thing as local rules in the federal courthouse. These rules come from Washington, D.C. Okay? When it comes down to people doing a lawsuit and civil proceedings, local rules are just federal rules that come from somewhere else, not the courthouse. You know, black people can't file lawsuits. Indians can't file lawsuits. You can only file to a certain extent the lawsuit. Come on. They change the amounts. They change. I filed and paid for a contract. And let me tell you something else, ladies and gentlemen. As of today, we have not received anything else from this courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland. When we went down there, the lady, she said she was the deputy clerk of the court, but I see that there's a man who is the deputy chief. So I don't know how many deputies they have down there, but she said she sent out a letter to me. We haven't received that yet. And to this day, we have not received the letter sent to us from the court saying this judge closed this case out or dismissed it. We got it from the clerk of the court when we went there, but we haven't received anything because they didn't send it out. And this is the corruption inside of this court. There should be accountability. People charged criminally with violating other citizens' rights. The Constitution says every citizen has a right to have their grievances heard in an honest court. And in Greenbelt, Maryland, it's not an honest court. There's corruption inside of this courthouse, and it starts with this clerk of the court, this deputy chief, because they're running that courthouse and those judges up in there. Okay? I find it interesting that this, look at here, y'all, came all the way from Baltimore City again. Not Greenbelt, but Baltimore City. This is where the head judge sits. The head clerk's office sits. Why is that? I didn't file anything in Baltimore City. Come on, man. They know they fucked up. Okay? And the funny thing about it is this. The young lady told me what they fail to realize is this. They tried to keep my body camera out, but there were body cameras there. And we have the young lady again on camera saying she received all 9 of the summons, but they disappeared out of my jacket. She said they're in the jacket. Not only we have footage, but we got 2 protected service officers that heard the conversation. We are not going to post this yet. I'm telling you, we're going to open up this wide open. We got so much shit going on in America today that is ridiculous. And the only reason I'm posting this right now is because we're downloading. We've been out deep in the area and we're posting stuff left and right. So we talked to the Court of Appeals. The 17th is the deadline to pay the $605 and to have we haven't received any of these documents from the district court. The young man told us we had to go down there and pay the money at the courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland. We're coming. We have the money order already. We're coming down there. We have until the 17th. We just been so busy, but we're coming down there, Greenbelt, and we're going to come in there and record. So have federal protected agency, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be woke up by the time somebody's going to reach out and tell them that we can walk in that courthouse and record. Okay? These clowns wanted my body camera so bad, they didn't even know we had other cameras on us. So this is the corruption, and I'm telling you what we're going to do. That's our courthouse, the people's courthouse. And it's time, citizens, we wake up and put a stop to this corruption. One hand washes the other. So stay tuned. They made sure they type this in here. It is important that you follow the local rules. Now, I follow the federal rules of civil proceedings, which comes from Washington, D.C. And I'm glad they sent this because I got another meeting to go up in Washington, D.C., and I'm going to take them. Local rules. You don't make the rules. You only explain the rules that come from Washington, D.C. That's why we hired these officials in Washington, D.C. to vote on the rules that are supposed to be followed in the courthouse. Just like this rule of COVID. How stupid can it be? You don't take money, but you take a credit card. Oh, the virus knows the difference between paper and plastic. How stupid can you be? And you're a judge. I know you don't like to hear somebody telling you how stupid you be, but you're stupid. And you're a judge. COVID knows the difference between paper and plastic. Get the fuck out of here. If I walk into this courthouse having COVID, I want you free people to listen to common sense. And that's what law is about, common sense. I walk into that courthouse and I got a dollar bill that has COVID on it. Everybody in that courthouse may be subject to COVID at that point. Germs don't care if it's plastic or paper. Common sense. If one person in that courthouse got COVID, 9 times out of 10, mostly everybody in there is going to get COVID. So we need to put some common sense people in running our judicial system, because this clearly shows there is no common sense. And for this judge or this clerk of the court to say follow the local rules are made up at the highest level and not in these courtrooms or behind closed doors by these corrupt individuals who get a phone call or shake hands. Okay, as I told y'all, this is the second lawsuit. We got 2 more coming.